Well, thank you, Hazel. This cup final between the Leopards and the Sheffield Sharks is a repeat, as you say, of the 1997 final, won by the Leopards 87-79. Well, the Sheffield Arena, it's getting pretty full. It's got a capacity on this occasion between 5,000 and 6,000. I tell you, the Leopards, well, they retrieved an 18-point deficit in the first half against the Newcastle Eagles in their semi-final to reach this final. It's their second appearance in the National Cup final. Sheffield, well, they last won the cup in the 1994-95 season, and that year they won the League Cup double. It was their first season in the top flight of basketball. On that occasion, they beat the Thames Valley Tigers, their semi-final opponents, this year 89-66. It's their fourth cup final appearance in 5 years. Well, now we're going to have an introduction from the court side by Mike Shaft, who will introduce now the two teams lining up for this final.
All righty. And now, welcome the Greater London Leopards, led out by their captain, number 9, Robert Youngblood. Number 4, Eric Burks. Wearing 6, Lloyd Gardner. Wearing 7, Peter Depeche. Wearing 10, David Atterwell. 13, Stenroy Baker. 20, new signing Rashad Johnson. 21, Tim Moore. 22, Brian Moore. And 24, Ben Baum. Coach of the Greater London Leopards, Mr. Billy Mims, assisted by Mark Clark. And now the Westfield Sharks, led out by their captain, Todd Crawford. Number 5, Ian McKinney. Wearing 7, Adrian Anderson. Wearing 9, Michael Payne. 11, Terrell Myers. 15, Leonid Okari. 20, Richard Windle. 21, Travis Conlon. 22, Guy Renton. And 24, Will the Thrill Johnson. Coach of the Westfield Sharks, Mr. Chris Finch, assisted by Brian Aldred. Ladies and gentlemen, your game commentator, Mr. Rob Howard Perkins.
Well, there you have it. The scene is now set, and we've got, before we have a proper look at the team list, let's just highlight one or two of the players. A newcomer to the court, Rashad Johnson. He's wearing number 20. He replaces Dave Cruz. He's just out of Western Michigan University in the United States. He's a point and off guard at 6 feet 2 tall. He's had a good three-point shooting record too at 44%. He scored 20 points a game in his university career over 29 games. So he's a pretty tough player. He's a newcomer, a surprise really in this final. Tim Moore is the next of their players. Tim Moore at number 21. Well, he's been an absolute revelation. He's averaging 23 points a game and 10 rebounds. He's a powerful inside player, and the team will very much depend on him today. Tim Moore, powerhouse inside, the forward, and much will depend upon him. But really, when you look at the Sheffield side and you look at Will Johnson, who will be wearing number 24, well, he had an absolutely exceptional semi-final, controlling the backboards at both ends with 16 rebounds, evenly split, 8 offensive and 8 defensive. And not only that, he scored 30 points. And over the season, he's shooting at about 63%. At 16 points a game. Third in the league overall, and he's got 9 rebounds per game. Terrell Myers, incidentally, will wear number 11. He's a guard. He's a candidate certainly for Player of the Year. He's averaging 24 points a game. And he's a big assist player too. and he's hit 21 points in the semi-final. There you go, there he is. Well, Alton Bird is with me, and Alton, the big surprise of this final is Rashad Johnson, who I introduced as wearing the number 20. He's a newcomer from the United States, just in this week. What do you think?
Well, certainly he is supposed to be maybe the most exciting player we've seen in this country for the last 10 years. He comes out of Western Michigan. He played for Bob Dunwall, who coaches at Derby, played for Bob Dunwall's father, and apparently has all of the skills you need for an NBA player. The Milwaukee Bucks are very keen on him. This might be his only appearance in the country because the Bucks apparently are very interested in signing him for the NBA.
Well, we couldn't find it before, but Johnson there just going off your shot. Will Johnson hiding again, but he won't be hiding in the game, I can assure you. He's a big, big scorer, and he will be very much in control of the backboards. He really will. Forward and center, such a talent.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the biggest matchups for this basketball game would be Will Johnson against Robert Youngblood. Two very good players at the defensive end, two ferocious rebounders, and they're both going to be, it's going to be an exciting matchup between those two.
I promised you a look at the full list of the London Leopards side. There it is. It's got a sprinkling of youth with young Lloyd Gardner there, the former England junior captain. It's got young blood, as we've mentioned. We've got Johnson, Moore, Baum. But let's have a look at the starting five now. There they are, highlighted for you. Burks, Depish, Youngblood, Rashad Johnson and Tim Moore. And that's a pretty formidable five. And now their opponents, the Sheffield Sharks. Well, they've got a fair lineup, and McKinney comes off the bench well. Payne, Myers we've mentioned, Cawthorne's the captain, Windle, Conlon, Renton and Johnson. The Renton a newcomer to the game. Let's have a look at their starting five for you. Payne, Terrell Myers, Todd Cawthorne, Travis Conlon and Will Johnson. They're the fives then as they line up for the start of this very, very interesting match. Interesting because of the inclusion of Rashad Johnson. There he is, number 20, with his back to us. There'll be some interesting matchups in this game, I would think. Johnson and Myers, Burks and Conlon, Depish and Payne, Youngblood and Johnson, Moore and Cawthorne. It's an appetite-whetting lineup, it really is.
Well, certainly the two backcourts are going to be very exciting. Terrell Myers and Travis Conlon. Travis Conlon, many people think, is the best point guard in the country. He and Terrell Myers have their hands full today with Eric Burks, who was last year's Player of the Year, and Rashad Johnson, who many people think will be in the NBA in not too long.
Well, certainly they are very much, the Leopards are very much in need of a point guard, although Johnson has showed those sort of skills in his high school days, but he was off guard, number 2 guard in college, and so I think Burks will take most of the playmaking role in this match. We'll see, though.
Yeah, Eric Burks is definitely a point guard. He prefers to play as an off guard, but I think for this game he's going to have to play some point guard and a lot of it.
Good defensive play there by Youngblood. Checked his opponent out. Now Burks has it. Defended by Myers. Youngblood. Defended by Johnson. Yes. Well, Moore is the sort of player that when he gets inside, unless they can control him, he's going to cause all sorts of problems.
He certainly will. He is a very, very good scorer. He knows how to get to the basket. But that's the matchup everybody's going to want to see. Terrell Myers against Rashad Johnson.
Burks slows it down, calls the play. He's the playmaker. He's the point guard role. Defended by Myers. Terrell Myers at 6'3". And to man the defense. Big long shot, and that was a big hit from the man. They said he was a big three-point shooter, and he's just beginning to prove it.
Well, absolutely. I mean, there was a great penetration, good pass. Johnson used the double screen very well to flare out and nails the three. But one of the things you cannot do in this game, Rashad Johnson and Eric Burks do not have time to celebrate. Travis Conlon and Terrell Myers may be the best backcourt in the country. You have got to play defense against those two. They are very, very good players.
Well, Johnson, the man on the free throw line, what a player he's proved to be. Particularly in the semi-final, but in the season, he's a big rebound player, and the control of the backcourt, as far as his side will be concerned, will be in his hands.
Well, he and Robert Youngblood both play similar types game. They're always around the basketball. They're very, very smart. There's no question in my mind that the key to the game will be how Johnson and Youngblood play against each other.
Good rebound by Cawthorn there, taking that ball away. Now. Will Jones, the official, initiating that call.
And you have to remember one thing. Sheffield had a tough game on Friday night, double overtime against Birmingham, and it wasn't what they expected. They were lucky to get out with a win. It's be interesting to see how much that game took out of their legs in for this cup final.
I have a feeling they went into that game worrying about this game, though, and that was the nature of the game. Nice little point again, Youngblood this time. Burks comes down, picked up by Mike Payne, closes him down, stops the offense, screen being set by Youngblood, moving across. 12 seconds left on the 30-second clock in the corners. They must make a shot within 30 seconds, bringing the ball over the halfway line in 10. That's the rule. Conlon brings it down. Payne has it. Oh, he's free for a shot. Cawthorn, yes!
And he has been shooting the ball very well in the last couple of weeks. He's been their leading scorer. He was their leading scorer on Friday night, and that time he got a wide open shot. He is very good up to about 19 feet from the basket. Very, very high percentage shooting.
A lot of full court pressure coming on Alton from the far end of the court. The Sharks not allowing the Leopards the luxury of bringing the ball down into the area from which they could shoot.
And I certainly think that's the only way that the Sharks are going to be able to stay in this game. The Leopards certainly have team speed over them. It'll be very interesting to see how they cope with this pressure.
Myers, unlucky. Youngblood the rebounder. Burks. Big clears way off target from Burks. Burks has had an indifferent season. We've said that before. He recently had a game in which he scored no points, which is so unusual for him. He missed pre-season training. We said that at the semi-final stage. And really, he's never quite got back into the rhythm that we saw him winning the most valuable player in the 1997 final. He's a good player when he's on song. We haven't seen the best of him yet.
No, we certainly haven't. And when you think about it, he was player of the year. He has not had, I would think, almost the same interest level. And I think that's what's hurt him more than anything else. That time, Rashad Johnson got caught holding on to Terrell Myers under the offensive boards.
Let's have a look at this. A little complaint from Johnson there, saying he's pulled me away from the basket. The result of all of that is an end-line possession to Sheffield. Nice little rotation there. Beautiful play, it really was, but just misjudged at the end. Burks. The defense is back very quickly. More, so inside. He's such a powerhouse inside. He's got another chance, but misses that too. Good work by Johnson on that occasion. That's Will Johnson. Got in the way.
Well, what I like about these referees is they're going to let these guys play. There's no question it's going to get physical under the basket. And Will Jones and the other referee are just going to let these guys battle it out, let them determine what happens. There's a great pass. Will Johnson with a great catch, and there's the foul on Deppish, not on Youngblood. Johnson converts. He gets the basket plus a foul shot.
His bonus shot coming up now. 15 minutes and 28 to go in this first half. Just a couple of points or so separating the side. It's 9-8 now, just 1 point. Leopards over the Sharks. Sheffield have a sort of advantage. This is their home court, but the championships have been held here since the cup matches, that is, since 1994. So it's always been known that this is where the final would be.
That's right, and they play well here. They don't lose very often in Sheffield.
The last two occasions that these two teams met in the season were heavy defeats for the Leopards, and Sheffield came out on top quite comfortably.
Well, that was a different team that time, Stuart. I mean, there's Chris Finch, who is one of the hardest working coaches on the sidelines certainly in this country. But there's no question that these teams have, there's no love lost between them. They both think they're championship caliber teams. And I think you're going to see some fireworks.
Well, Chris Finch coaching the Sheffield side. He was a player, of course, in that 94 5-season win in the championship. So Chris Finch, very, very accomplished. And if I remember correctly, he got the Budweiser Coach of the Month award in November last year. An accomplished young man, applying his trade.
Well, he's certainly been a student of the game. That's why people respect him. He works hard at learning the basketball game, and he has been able to adapt that to his team.
Young blood, very tightly defended by Will Johnson. And there is Billy Mims, originates from South Carolina, coach of the year in the Budweiser League last season, though he's pretty useful to coach the All-Star team last year. Young blood, incidentally, has 4 rebounds, and we talked about the control of the backboards. There he is, just being scraped off the deck. He's the top man in the rebound department at the moment, but getting inside and coming up against Johnson, who's a pretty sturdy character.
Well, that time he got hit on the side of the head by Terrell Myers, and he was able to convert the basket. He now gets the foul shot, and he is key to the Leopards as a player. He's playing the center position right now. Usually he doesn't play that position.
Travis Conlon into the corner. Very long pass, as you saw, to the weak side. Attempted to the weak side, but it was so ponderous and slow that it didn't have the effect it was supposed to have. Conlon, defended by Johnson. Johnson on the top. Little steal there, so a turnover, which will delight Billy Mims.
That was good defense that time by Eric Burks down on the low post. They tried to get the ball into Terrell Myers to post him up and didn't quite make it.
Superb assist from Conlon to Cawthorn. That was brilliant.
Yes, absolutely great court vision by Travis Conlon. Take a look. He saw Todd Cawthorn out of the corner of his eye. Great peripheral vision, great pass, great finish by Todd Cawthorn.
Well, certainly the injection of Rashad Johnson, meant that the game was going to be tighter, and it's proving to be that at the moment. They're very evenly matched. Oh, superb stuff. Tim Moore. Once he's inside, you can't stop him.
Well, absolutely great pass there from Burks to Tim Moore, and a great dunk there because Cawthorn almost blocked it.
Timeout to Sheffield.
Back out, we pick up the intensity a little bit on everywhere, all right? Down there, let's let the ball find the opening a little bit more, okay? Run harder down the middle of the floor, okay? Please get out of the post for a little while, okay? Please get out of the post for a little while. This is what we want. We make an early entry trap from here, come through, all right? Get the guard screening down so we have movement. We have guard to reverse it to right away. What's happening is it's going there. This guy's going through. Okay? The other thing is, use his pass up for the wide open three. Ball. Then I need all 3 guards to sprint back. And you might have to take one of those big guys until he can get there, okay? Offensively, we're going 7 across. 7 across, 8, 9. All right? Let's go. 50.
Well, certainly the timeout from Sheffield. Chris Finch wants more offensive movement. He's actually begging Will Johnson and Todd Cawthorn to get out of the low post because they are stagnating the offense. At the other end, certainly in Billy Mims talking to his team, he wants defensive pressure, he wants more defensive pressure, and he wants them to focus on, again, moving the ball, making sure good things happen.
Good defensive work by Rashad Johnson in the corner, tying down Myers. Myers unable to get the shot away. Myers has it again now. Conlon tied up, ball well screened off by Johnson, and that was an almost worked. Burks unable to get in. It's tough under there, and it's going to, as you said, Dalton, it's going to be very physical. Billy Mims knows that, and so does Chris Finch and his players. And don't worry, they just get on with it, and it's what the referees call that matters.
Well, absolutely, and I think they're going to let both these teams bang underneath the basket. They're both physical. They're both very, very active teams, and I think you're going to find that he's going to let them decide the best way forward for the game.
Connon, the rebounder. The two referees doing well at the moment because we haven't noticed them. Will Jones and Neil Wilkinson, the two, and a good sign of good refereeing is you don't notice them. And this is the players playing some really fast and furious and physical stuff. Conlon. Burks. Looking for the outlet, and there was no one there. Oh, Myers. It's Myers is waiting, and that's sensible. Youngblood was there, but not it. Well, what a shot over the top.
Well, talk about arrogance. Now here's a guy that's saying, well, I'm not going to go and play with you inside. You got to come and play with me outside, and I'll take the three.
1 point between them. That's all changed now with 11 minutes and 42 seconds left in this first half. Slows it down just for the moment.
I was just going to say, Stuart, that both these teams are starting to get a read on really what the game and the tempo of the game is like. Leopards want to run up and down the floor. They want to score lots of points. Sheffield are the team that averages the most points in the league, 98 points a game, but they want to do it in a more controlled set of circumstances.
Nice little move, a little fade away from Youngblood, and that was a beautiful move into the center. 2 more points to him. The teams are pretty well matched in the rebound department too. They're averaging about 27 apiece in each game.
And if you think the intensity level isn't starting to pick up, watch Rashad Johnson and Terrell Myers go at it one-on-one on the court. Those two are really getting physical, and Terrell Myers is starting to put on a little bit of a show, all right, to make sure that Rashad Johnson knows that if you're going to come to this league and play, you've got to play it my way. He's got great skills, Terrell Myers, and so does Travis Conlon.
We talk about the Sharks' defense. They've got a better defensive record this season than most teams. Only Birmingham are better, and they're conceding only an average of 77 points, so defensively they're pretty good, and they've got the ammunition in the offense department too, as we've already said, and they're the top 3-point shooting team in the league this season as well, so there's an awful lot of statistics going their way.
Well, they are, and this team is almost like a throwback to the old style of play where there was tempo and there was intelligence, and they move the ball, they make the extra pass, and defensively they're very much a united team. They help each other, they work hard for each other.
So all of a sudden it slows down again. Substitution, of course, being made with Stedway Baker now playing the court guard on high. Good defense there by Sheffield, just an indication of the defensive talent that they have. Johnson has it. Rashad Johnson looking to get that 3-point shot away. Such tremendous pace. That was Conlon bringing that ball down, and the outlet was good to Myers, but there are 2 good defenders there quickly. And the Leopards showing some defensive expertise here.
Well, certainly in the transition from offense to defense, Billy Mims has made a couple of strategical substitutions. He's got Stedroy Baker foul there on Brian Moore, but he's moved Rashad Johnson really to a small forward so that they can utilize his quickness, and they're going to use Stedroy Baker and Brian Moore really to defend.
Just a nice long shot. Substitutions requested when the ball is dead. The whistle blows and they come on, and the referee must give his permission, and those are unlimited number during the course of the game. Baker. Very tightly defended man-to-man, one-on-one. The big men marking the paint, 3-point attack. Adrian Anderson. McKinney, rather. Ian McKinney has come off the bench often. He's got some very high percentages in his shooting, wearing number 5 for the Sheffield Shark. He can shoot. He doesn't get a great deal of court time, but when he's on, coming off the bench, he has had some success.
He certainly has. He actually leads the league in field goal percentage, three-point shooting, and free throw percentage. And he's not a guy you want to leave open at all, even when he walks in the gym. You've got to make sure you know where he is on the floor. If he gets an open look at the basket, he's got a better than 60% chance of it going into the basket.
Yeah, it's interesting that they use him off the bench, isn't it? Burks, oh, what an assist in Youngblood. Burks to assist, and that's the sign of a great player, and it emerges every so often.
Exactly. It's not like it has been, but he sees Youngblood. What a great look, and Youngblood finishes with a dunk. Great pass by Eric Burks to Robert Youngblood.
Well, that's a foul against Robert Youngblood, the Leopards number 9. He's the longest serving member of that Leopards team, and now we've got several substitutions coming on now. The exchanges will bring you up to date, and there are quite a few of them. Oh, McKinney got away. He got right away there. But couldn't make the shot work. Five points the difference between the sides, as you just see there. 8 minutes and 50 to go in this first half. Brian Moore. We've got Tim Moore and Brian Moore on the court now. Tim Moore, the larger of the two, wearing 21. Big shot, too long. Brian Moore has it. And also we've got Ben Baum at 6 feet 11 on for the Leopards, so that gives them a fair bit of height. He's wearing the number 24. 6 feet 11 centre. Or inside. Or good retrieval by Windle. Richard Windle, one of those players we said we would bring you up to date with. He's just come onto the court. And that's in. I think it was Cawthorne, I think.
Well, he certainly was standing square on to the basket and had at 6'8". Here's the replay. Well, maybe not. Myers got his hand on it quicker. It's too bad they can't split that one up.
Moore into Tim Moore. Yes, a little reverse, a turn. And that was another wonderful score. Tim Moore now on 10 points. Have a little look at that again. It's fading away. Right over the defender's outstretched hand. 10 points he has. Moore defending Myers. Lots of backdoor work there. Windle attempting to get in. There's a foul. I think it's against Baum.
Well, that was a great job by Richard Windle. He caught the ball. He reverse pivoted, faced up at the basket, and then went right by Ben Baum. There it is. Good move there by Richard Windle to get to draw the foul on Ben Baum.
It's interesting, Alton, looking at the comparison of these two sides over the league. The Leopards in 8th place in the Budweiser League, and Sheffield have only lost once. They're in 2nd place, and really they were complaining bitterly about the inclusion of Rashad Johnson, but when you look at the rules, they're quite entitled to do that, and they've got Scantlebury, who they can't play. This is Sheffield, can't play Scantlebury because he's cup-tied. He played for Newcastle in an early game and can't play, so they thought that was a little unfair, but I have to say that they haven't gone against the rules at all, but it is unusual for a player to come in for the final.
Well, it certainly is. Another great pass there by Eric Burks, and I think you're right. You know, a guy comes in for one game just before the final, when you've got a guy like Pete Scantlebury. What a pass there from Burks to Brian Moore. Great vision by Eric Burks, but you can't use a Scantlebury who is cup-tied. Unbelievable, but the rules, as they're stated, are quite clear.
We've got the team foul situations. Leopards have reached 7 now, and the Sharks only on 3, so the Sharks have a little bit of an advantage. The fouls that come in future, certain fouls, will result in free throws, so we may see the odd walk up and down the court for those 3 throws to be taken. So it does give a little bit of an advantage when that situation occurs. It tends to penalise the fouling players and the teams that foul a lot.
Well, it certainly does, and that's why they have the foul rule, just so that people cannot make or take fouls on purpose. You know, you get penalized after the 7th. Every foul then is 2 shots, so it makes you a little bit more aware of playing defense really without fouling.
Well, it gives some indication of the physicalness of this game, if that's the correct word, because we've still got 6 minutes and 58 seconds to go in this first half. So Sheffield, certainly with only 3 team fouls, have got quite an advantage here.
The key is they've got to keep driving the ball at the basket to draw fouls.
Good defensive play. Moore tried to get through 2 players and couldn't. Conlon, brilliant. Left-handed at the end, a little scoop in, and that's a good play.
Well, you know, people forget he is 6'4". He went to one of the best colleges in basketball, and there's Rashad Johnson with a reply. I think these teams want to try and get up and down the floor in transition, but Travis Conlon is very smart. He plays the game with intelligence, and certainly is fun to watch play basketball, Travis Conlon.
Well, that's a foul on Rashad Johnson. I was just looking across at the table to see, I think it's his second, in fact. It's just been signalled on the table across from us. So he's got 2 fouls. Remember the foul situation, you're allowed 4, and on the 5th foul you have to leave the game and can take no further part. So he's had 2 fouls, so no problems yet. It's 26-21, 6:09 to go, first half.
You know, in the game of basketball, Stuart, you'll always hear coaches say 1 or 2 very simple things. One, obviously, you've got to be able to defend, but on the offensive end, if you make your foul shots and you make your layups, you'll win most games. That time, Ian McKinney missed a foul shot, and Sheffield's already missed 2 or 3. You've got to have those foul shots to make sure you win the game. In a close game, it ends up really, really close.
Johnson initiating that play. Myers. Yes. Oh, yes. And look at that scoreline now. Just 2 points separating the sides. We've got a real ball game here.
Well, Terrell Myers never looks like he's playing hard, but for all you kids watching basketball, that's how you use the backboard on a jump shot. Great angle, good kiss off the glass for 2 points.
Nice pass to weak side for Moore, and that's a foul against Terrell Myers. Moore preparing to take the shot and getting fouled. Now watch this. There's the pass to the weak side. There's the foul. Before the shot was well, he wasn't actually shooting. He was passing to the right. So here we go, sideline.
One of the things, Stuart, that Sheffield's got to be careful of, they've got to find a way to stop the penetration of Burks and Rashad Johnson. The more they penetrate, the more fouls they draw.
Johnson faked it, man, brilliantly. Yes, and that's another superb shot from Johnson. And he is making a difference. He's making a big difference. Myers unable to get in there, and there's a foul called.
But you got to love the way Terrell Myers had Brian Moore going forwards, backwards. He gave him a head and shoulders fake, and all of a sudden he was at the rim. Great skill level by Terrell Myers.
4 points separating these 2 sides. Terrell Myers, 6'3" from New Haven, Connecticut. Attended the same college as Will Johnson, who wears the number 24. They know each other well, and that understanding goes so well in these finals. Oh yes, he won the Player of the Month incidentally in September, so he's a real talent.
He has got terrific skills, and he is an awful lot of fun to watch.
Burke slows it down, sets it up. Defended by Myers. Checked out by Johnson. Brilliant play. It's 3-on-1 though. And they were always in some difficulty. Oh, is that a travelling violation? Or is his foot out of bounds?
Well, he's saying his foot was out of bounds, and certainly the referee was standing right there. Here's the play. They get back well on defense, and there's Tim Moore. Well, I don't know. We couldn't see it from where we were.
Johnson, look at that. There's a foul, surely. And that's going to be against McKinney. He actually acknowledged that on the way down.
But that's a good foul. They don't get 2 shots. Here's the play. Rashad Johnson going to the basket. No question, there's a foul by Ian McKinney. But they don't get an easy basket. They don't get 2 foul shots. Smart play by Ian McKinney.
McKinney's 6'1", born in Sheffield, although he's very much at home. A timeout. And this timeout for the Leopards. Billy Mims and Mark Clark, his assistant, calling them in. That's Mark Clark, having a word with one of the players. I think that was it Johnson?
We're going to score here. Ben, we're going to triangle. Which side of the floor ball's on? Ball's here. Shot. You take it out. Ben, you're here. Tim Moore, you're in front of a shot. Brian Moore on the side. Eric there. Start. Yeah, don't go too far. Don't go too far, though. On a slap of the ball. Tim, you set a quick screen there. Ben, come. You're a decoy. You're a decoy, okay? Fake it to him, Shad. Fake it to him so you don't telegraph where you're going. Eric, split and go hard this way. Tim, as soon as you pick for Ben, I want Brian Moore to find Tim's man somewhere in there. Tim, come around that outside. Tim's open, get it. Hey, Tim ain't open, find Eric. That was Sam.
Well, that time Billy Mims diagramming an out-of-bounds play that he wants to score on. What you will see is Tim Moore screen for someone, and then someone's going to screen. Brian Moore is going to screen for Tim Moore, coming straight back to the basket. There's the first screen. There's Tim Moore, not open. They get the ball out to Eric Burks. Play didn't work, but they got the ball inbounds. No penalty, no harm done.
Well, Billy Mims, just off your shot, is orchestrating the play, and Johnson helps out, defended by McKinney. Burks setting the screen. Myers picks up Johnson. Oh, good rebound. Nothing called. Well, I think you were right earlier on when you said they're letting him play, Alton.
Well, absolutely. To say that it's not physical is incredible, because that was the same call as Ian McKinney's call.
Conlon, 2 more. Conlon, it's 28 each with 3:30 to go.
Well, here's the foul that wasn't called. Terrell Myers ran over Rashad Johnson and didn't get a call.
Moore under the backboard and gets 2 more for the Leopards. Get inside, and he's such a powerhouse. He really is. He's very strong, athletic, and that's a good riposte.
Well, great play by Travis Conlon, and I think Rashad Johnson is starting to realize that it's no holiday out here. All the offensive skills that he has, he's got to play some defense as well.
Oh, nice play. Very nice play there by Ben Baum. Nice little hook shot in by the 6'11" player. Myers, defended by Brian Moore. Cawthorn out on the top, he's the captain. McKinney, defended by Johnson, not very well. A lovely play by McKinney, he rolled round and in.
And I think Travis Conlon saying, I think you got to play a little basketball against me. They're starting to jar it up a little bit, Conlon and Rashad Johnson. And I think Travis Conlon saying, I'm every bit as good as you are.
Baum's got a big shot in again. That's 2 in succession from Baum, the big center at 18 stone 8, making his presence felt. There he is wearing 24. Myers defended by Brian Moore. Johnson on the top, on the high point position, and that's McKinney, and he's living up to his reputation.
What a great offensive series by Sheffield. They rotated the ball, they found the open man, and Ian McKinney drains the 3-point shot and didn't get the foul from Eric Burks.
We have timeout. The Leopards called it.
Listen,
Billy Mims, let's hear what he has to say.
We won this thing. We were down 7 at the half and kicked their ass in the second half, okay? We're okay right now. I don't care. It's not about who wins this thing at halftime. It's a 40-minute game. But now you've got, right now we've got 1:55, and we cannot allow them to have any kind of run here. so we got to stay in charge. Defensively now, Brian, you stay on Myers. You take Conlon. Pete, you got the third guard. McKinney, okay, no threes. All right? Offensively on this possession, I got 10 in that one. Let's go 9. Let's go 9. Brian, you come up that middle hard, okay? I want to get, so take it to Brian's side. Brian comes up hard. Don't turn it over here. You have to feed the post. I want you to look for both of them. Let's go to the basket, all right? Good job.
Well, Billy Mims there saying he's called that timeout because he really doesn't want to have a run or have Sheffield make a run in the last 2 minutes of this half. Doesn't really worry about halftime, I should say. They were down 7 the last time they played. He wants to establish a rhythm, make sure they're going under control at halftime.
I understand some of you may have lost the picture for a short period just a little earlier on. We apologise for that. This is some game. 1 point ahead, the Sharks over the Leopards now. It's with the form book at the moment, but by a very slender margin. You've got the time countdown to the end of the first half with you. Hawthorne defended by Moore. Cawthorne all the way in. More good defensive play. Brian Moore has it. Now Burks. Beautiful play by Burks this time. Oh, that was good play.
That's the old Eric Burks. A great penetration, great crossover dribble, and a great finish. Good defense that time by Leopards to get back and make the steal.
Certainly was a big turnover there. And Burke slows it down now with just over a minute to go. Slows it, he'll set it up, the patterns will run, the defenses will come. Just letting the clock tick away. There's 9 seconds on the shot clock in the corner. They're going to have to take a shot very shortly. It'll come now with Moore. Oh, and Moore's lost it in another turnover, and that was an error. Myers on the near side slows it down now. New 30-second clock. 21 seconds left on that. 34 seconds left in the game. Good defense by Burks this time. Myers no way through.
Good defense that time by the Leopards.
Foul on Burks. Eric Burks at 6'3" from Atlanta, Georgia. That foul on him.
Let's get there.
23 seconds remaining. Just for the moment, it's just a little quieter in here. Looking around, it's a very full house here. It must be 6,000 now. It's filled up as the game got underway. Myers on the line. 11 points to his credit at the moment. Now it's 12. Conlon has 10 incidentally. Tim Moore has 12. Youngblood has 9 and 4 rebounds, just to give you 1 or 2 of the statistics as we go into this half.
You have to remember here, Stewart, Sheffield's got 2 fouls to give, and a great steal by Travis Conlon. Great steal, great play.
39 to the Sharks, 36 to Leopards with 7 seconds. 1 more shot wanted. Depic has it. Baker looking to get the shot in. It was rushed and it's stolen again. And a long shot attempt, very, very close, I have to say. But at the end of that first half, it's 39 to 36, and the Sharks just by that odd 3 points. And that's been a marvellous first half. And Alton, all the big names have come good. Will Johnson's been playing a big role. So has Travis Conlon. And what about Ian McKinney coming off the bench, coming in and shooting those 3-pointers. So it's 39 to 36. We've got a very, very interesting second half in prospect. Well, thank you very much. We're not quite ready for the second half yet, but really there's been a fair bit of controversy over this week from both sides. Johnson's inclusion in the Leopards side and also the exclusion of Peter Scantlebury from the Sheffield side. He was cup-tied, he played for an earlier side, and we now hear what he has to say with Bob Ballard courtside.
Peter, what is it like for you having to sit out there and watch this, not actually be involved in the game?
It's been very frustrating, but you know, the rules are rules, so that's how the way it has to go.
Are you a bit upset about that? I mean, you did play for Newcastle, I suppose you knew about that, but one way or another, it does seem that the rules have worked against you a bit here.
Yeah, it has. I mean, Newcastle was still in the competition to the semi-finals, so it was a bit disappointing that I'm not allowed to play in the competition.
How good a watcher of the game are you?
Not very good, very nervous watching.
What kind of a game do you think this is going to turn out to be? We've seen how it is so far. It's so tight out there, isn't it?
It is. Leopards are playing pretty well, playing above themselves at the moment at this stage of the season. But I feel what we have to do is, what we started to do in the last 5 minutes is take the game to them, start running at them, and I feel we can get away with a win.
But you're saying we, so you think you're very much part of the Sharks outfit now?
Oh, definitely now, yeah. I've been here 2 months now. They made me feel at home very well.
Just explain to people who haven't seen the Sharks very much why they've been so successful this year.
Basically, we were a very unselfish team. We've moved the ball well. We've got 2 good guards, I think probably the 2 best guards in the country playing together, and we've got 2 big guys in the middle. So, you know, on top of that, we've got a lot of talent and a good coach.
And your first sighting of Leopards' new man, Mr. Johnson, what do you make of him?
He seems to be a good shooter. So far, he hasn't hurt us too much. So, if we can contain him like that, we should get off with a win.
Now, you've been in the dressing room. We just dragged you away from the team talk. What's being said in there without giving too much away in case the Leopards have their spies?
Basically, just for us to relax. We felt that we were playing a bit uptight. Until the last 5-7 minutes of the game, we started to relax and played our game. So, second half, we'll go out and do that.
Okay, lastly, a prediction?
We'll win.
By how many?
But we'll win.
Peter, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, that was a fair assessment of the situation, and the scoreline at the half, 39-36, and Chris Finch has that advantage. We're almost ready for the second half, much anticipated. It's very close. Let's hope we have some action more like that first half action. Well, there you have it. It was pretty close, and there is the evidence for you. As I said, 39-36, the Sharks with a slight advantage. Looking across the statistics, Alton, Myers 13 points, Conlon 12, Moore 12, Youngblood 9 and 4 rebounds. It's pretty even, but then the score would indicate that, wouldn't it?
Well, certainly it is even, and Sheffield are more, or I should say better known for balanced scoring. Usually they get 5 guys who play the game and they get double-figure points. Certainly Cawthorn, Will Johnson, Travis Conlon, and Terrell Myers will almost always get double digits points. But it's been balanced. Surprisingly, Eric Burks has made 3 or 4 great plays in the first half, hasn't really stamped his authority on the game. Rashad Johnson has played well. Remember, they are only down 3 points. Robert Youngblood did not play the last 7 minutes of the first half because of foul trouble. Let's see how they go as they go in the second half with a full team ready to go.
Well, also, you being a coach of some note after you finished playing, I mean, you've got Rashad Johnson coming into the team with just 1 week of practice. He doesn't know the patterns, he doesn't know the plays. I think he's been pretty good taking all that into account.
Well, I think you can get away with it because he is such a skillful player. He knows how to play the game. Basically, you give him simple stuff to run, and then you rely on his instincts to get you through the one game. Through a season, though, he's got to know exactly what he's doing all the time because there's a little thing called team chemistry, and he's got to fit into that. But in one game, with his skill level, I would think he may be able to get away with it for this game. It'll be interesting to see.
And no surprises in the lineups as we go into this. Second half then, and Burks and the Greater London Leopards have the first opportunity at offence. Youngblood, who didn't play, as Alton said, in the final stages of that first half, gets onto court again now, and that's a foul being drawn. Moore couldn't quite execute the 2 points, and the player will always grimace there because they like to get the 2 points and then the bonus shot to create a 3-point play. Have a look at this.
Well, there's a replay. Cawthorn got caught too far under the basket. Tim Moore draws the foul, didn't get the basket, but now he'll take 2 shots to bring the deficit to 1.
Tim Moore, born in Houston, Texas, went to the University of Houston. We mention the universities because this is the grounding that they get in the United States. They go from high school to university, and this is where the big teams are bred. This is where the big NBA players are bred. And all the greats, including the great Michael Jordan, all started somewhere and made their way into the real world of professional basketball.
And there is hope for you because you know Michael Jordan was cut from his high school team. He didn't really play high school basketball until his junior year in high school. Scary, isn't it?
Yes, I heard an interview with his former coach, and Chris Finch, looking as pensive as that Michael Jordan coach might be looking at that as he saw him develop to one of the great players, if not the greatest player of all time. Well, let's look again. Here we go, Youngblood on high. Johnson looking to get inside. He's had the ball stolen from him. Conlon is one-on-one, and Burks didn't take him, and Conlon puts the ball away, and that's a very useful play by Travis Conlon from Michigan, USA. Look at this.
Well, it was a great pass from Terrell Myers. They play very well together, Conlon and Myers. It's almost like they're twins. You know, they make the right moves. They defensively play together, and they do a very, very good job of finding each other offensively. And that was one example of Myers to Conlon. Usually it's Conlon to Myers.
Burks, the big three-pointer. No rebound power in there at all.
Great boxing out there by Sheffield. Fundamentally very sound. They did the right thing and made sure they kept everybody off the board.
Will Johnson looking to get inside. To avoid any confusion at all, remember there's a Johnson on each side. Will Johnson wearing the number 24 for Sheffield, and Rashad Johnson wearing number 20 for the Leopards. This is Will going in and being fouled by Youngblood.
And that was a good call. That time Will Johnson drew the contact, followed through. Robert Youngblood couldn't quite block the shot.
I don't have to comment on that.
Well, one of Will Johnson's very few weaknesses is the fact that he is not a great foul shooter. That time he embarrasses me, but usually he's not a great foul shooter, and that's one of the weaknesses that he has, one of the very few weaknesses that he has.
Youngblood defended by Conlon. Conlon dropping very deep inside. It's man-to-man, one-on-one. Very tight defensive pattern. Each man with his own responsibility, switching as the occasion demands. Johnson looking to penetrate. Doesn't get the ball up and tries to get it in to Moore. But I think the Leopards will get possession out of bounds, I think.
There's only 3 seconds left on the 30-second clock, so Leopards have to take a very, very quick shot.
They've done just that. Didn't work for them, as you saw. New 30-second clock. 30 seconds to put the ball into, or attempt to put the ball up to the basket at the far end. 10 seconds to bring the ball over the halfway line. They're the rules. The pressure defenses make life very difficult at times, and we may well see that towards the end of this game, particularly if it's very tight. There's a foul.
And there's no question that was a foul, and that's his 3rd foul behind the 3-point line. Rashad Johnson did not get away with it. The referee was looking right at him. Good call. Very good call.
"17 minutes and 31 seconds left in this final."
Here's something interesting, Stuart. The defensive intensity that Sheffield has shown the first 2.5 minutes has limited the Leopards to 2 points in 2.5 minutes. And the tempo is now Sheffield's. They certainly have the momentum. They certainly have the kind of tempo that they want to win this game.
I think you're right. I think this is a critical stage in the game, and if the Sharks do get away at this stage, then there may be some difficulty. Myers, incidentally, has hit 7 out of 8 3 throws, so he's very, very useful. Johnson gets the assist in this time, and this time Moore can't get up, but the foul is made and there'll be shots. Have a look at this.
Well, there's the play. Johnson finds the open man. They call a foul on Travis Conlon. Although we weren't there, it looked like a very, very good block from behind by Travis Conlon. Will Jones, an experienced referee, was standing right there. Must have made the call. Must have made the right call.
Every single one of these 3 shots vital now. The deficit, 7 points. The expression tells you a little bit about the thoughts going on inside. (45-39), 6 points the difference. That's just 2 3-pointers. It's nothing. It's all very, very close.
And one of the things that Sheffield cannot afford to do is literally cruise through this second half now that they've got a 6-point lead. You and I both know, Stuart, that in the semifinals, the Leopards came from 18 points down to make this final. So we know they have the capacity to really get back into a game.
That was superb play by Moore. Got inside into the high percentage area and executed that quite brilliantly. Have a look at this. Young blood, lovely assist inside. Found Moore, Tim Moore. And he was fouled in the act of shooting. The basket went in, 2 points given, 1 more shot to make this a 3-point play. Bonus shot coming up. Cool and calm. This is a final. It's the Sainsbury's Classic Cola National Cup final. It's a final of some consequence, and this game is matching up to the occasion. Myers again, defended by Johnson. 3-pointer! It's a big 3. 48-42, watch this. Big shot. Myers. And a missed opportunity, and that could be a 5-point play, Alton, at the end of the day, or even 6.
Well, absolutely, because certainly Terrell Myers is capable of nailing 3-pointers after 3-pointers. And look at how Sheffield's distributing the ball. Good penetration. Myers can't nail that one, but they play very, very well together, this Sheffield.
If anything, Alton, when we go back down this end, the Leopards' defense is getting a little bit slacker. The fatigue factor is coming into this game because it's been played at a tremendous rate. It really is, and it's giving Sheffield more opportunities like that to penetrate. They are beginning to penetrate. They're beginning to find space to take outside shots. We just had an example of a 3-pointer going in, and two consecutive missed shots down this end. So the balance of power is shifting now, and I'm not surprised that the Leopards, Billy Mims has called a timeout. He's desperate because that's another big 3-pointer, and all of a sudden it's 53-42. It's 11 points between them, Alton, and this game is swinging unless the Leopards can really move up another gear.
Well, there's Terrell Myers from about 28 feet down the floor, nothing but string quartet. That was his third three-point shot, and you can see the tempo and the rhythm are right now with the Sharks. And Billy Mims needs to sort his team out.
They're getting second and third shots. First 3-pointer Myers hit. Payne missed the shot. Myers took off down the floor. The guards got a rebound. He got a box first. Second time they scored, they got a second shot and got a second shot in. Okay? They're hitting some big shots, guys, but they're missing the first ones. If you're going to give them 2 or 3 chances, they're going to score sooner or later. Okay? Offensively now, if we got the break, we break. But if the break ain't there, we need numbers, not 1-on-4. If we don't have the break, but don't have the fast break. This offense, 7 high. 7 high. Get these guys rolling.
Hey, I'm not there alone in that ball streak.
Let's go, let's go. Talk with him, talk through him.
Well, there's Billy Mims trying to settle his team down, basically saying a couple of things. One, you can't give them second or third shots. At some point, they're going to score those. Secondly, offensively, Leopards have gone away from any offensive discipline. They've come down, they've gone one-on-one. Rashad Johnson there went 1-on-4, and this is not the kind of basketball game you have to play away from home and hope to get away with it. Sheffield's too good a team to try and play one-on-one basketball against them.
The next 2 or 3 minutes could be absolutely crucial to the Leopards. They've got to hit very hard inside. They've got to do just that, and they've got to do that several times, and they've got to defend. And remember, one of the things that Billy Mims was saying is that in the defensive department, they've got to box out. They're not boxing out, and therefore they're losing that rebound opportunity, and they're giving the Sheffield side an opportunity for second phase ball all the time.
Absolutely. I think what the Leopards need to do is settle down a little bit, move the ball, get some easy shots, and they've got to get Tim Moore and Robert Youngblood into the game. Right now, the two guys taking all the shots are Eric Burks and Rashad Johnson. You can't win that way. Your forwards and your centers have to get you some easy points.
Certainly Johnson, Tim Moore rather, has been relatively quiet. They've played him well in this half, defended him very well, and the Leopards' inside player, the man that they hope would control the backboards for them, is having a little bit of a lean time at the moment.
Well, he's not seeing the ball at all. You know, they can't get the ball to Robert Youngblood, and certainly Sheffield's doing a good job of double-teaming Robert Youngblood.
They were asking for goaltending. They were asking for the ball to be swept away on the way down, but you could probably hear Will Jones in the background saying ball on the way up, which means that no such thing.
And unless that basket dropped about 4 feet while the ball was in the air, there was no way they were going to get a goaltending call.
You see these free throws now, they are not easy. You can stand on your own in a gymnasium and put 5 out of 5 in, but in a national final like this, they are very difficult. And Robert Youngblood has proved it.
And I tell you, it's the loneliest feeling in the world to have to shoot foul shots and knowing that everybody is watching you. There's nowhere to hide. That free throw line is 15 feet from the front of the rim, and it is a lonely, lonely feeling when you miss.
Conlon out on the top. Windle is in there too, making his presence felt, and that's being given back to Sheffield. End line coming off Leopards contact, and Billy Mims looking more and more frustrated now because he knows that his team have got to pull off a couple of good hits here. They've got to get a couple of three-pointers really to get back into the game, or gradually come back. Remember what they did though in the semi-final. You said earlier, Alton, they came back from an 18-point deficit to win the game in overtime, and well, and remember Sheffield have had a game in the last 2 days. They beat Birmingham just.
Well, there's a shot, a great shot by Terrell Myers off the backboard, and the foul after the shot. Richard Wendell pushed Robert Youngblood into about the 5th row and didn't get away with it. But Terrell Myers with 24 points is eating Rashad Johnson alive. There's a good fadeaway there. There you see Wendell. Watch him push, and a little bit of acting by Youngblood, but he drew the foul.
Now, they need to remotivate themselves now. 11 points, the difference, not a great difference at the moment. We've seen greater differences pulled back, as we've said before. That is a superb assist! Oh, what a play, what a play! More beautiful timing of his ascent to the basket, but what an assist!
A one-handed pass, great. They call that an alley-oop pass because you throw it up and you hope that the player can go and get it, but a great play.
That's the sort of play that the Leopards needed, and now, once again, Burke's trying second time in a row, this time to Youngblood, but the end result you saw, but that's helped the margin somewhat.
But I'll tell you what, Chris Finch has done a masterful job of using Richard Wendell to save Todd Cawthorn's legs. Cawthorn had 32 points in the game on Friday night, but must have been tired. Certainly Chris Finch, masterful job at strategy in using Richard Windle, the young England player, to rest Todd Cawthorn.
Well played indeed to get that opportunity back with the second attempt, but still Johnson can't get those shots in from outside, and that's one of his big factors, and that's a big shot too, and what a good rebound by Youngblood. He's fouled by Windle.
Well, there's the rebound. Youngblood in great position to grab that rebound, and there's a foul by Windle. Terrell Myers could have been called for the same foul as well. But you've got to like the tempo. Certainly Leopards in 7 minutes of play have only scored 10 points. Good defensive intensity by Sheffield. That is controlling the tempo of the game for Sheffield. Their intensity and their physicalness around the basket at the defensive end.
Windle defending Burks on the top. Burks has played a good role, and that's a nice play, and he couldn't quite make it, and Moore almost got it, a grimace on his face. Nice play, Johnson's been relatively quiet, but they haven't needed him to be anything other than that. He's been there though. Myers hitting the way he is. It's been a great asset. They didn't do very well there, but in general his shooting's been superb.
Well, he complained he got fouled, and that time he probably did.
Billy Mims shouting at his players to get back because it's 4-on-2, and they were very fortunate to get away with that.
There's lids on both baskets right now.
Brian Moore on the near side, defended by Myers. Terrell Myers gets the ball away. Is that a foul? It is a foul. He's given it against Myers, I think, Colton.
No, I actually think he's given out against Brian Moore. Great defensive series by Terrell Myers. He flicked the ball away from Brian Moore and then drew the foul. Here it is. 50-50 ball. You can see Brian Moore pushing Terrell Myers away. Good call by the referee, Will Jones.
Yeah, interesting enough, it did go the other way, and it's 55-46, 11:53 to go in this final. Well, it's been fast and furious.
Out there, but we're in our high post way too much. Let's work the sides. When we tack from the sides, we're so much more dangerous, okay? So like I said, everything, just dunk it. Every time, dunk it. All right? They ain't going to call it if you look like you're going to bail out. Okay, that goes for everybody. Todd, get there. All right, good job, man. All right, let's come down. Let's run special here. No, I don't want special. Let's run down. Let's run down, okay? Let's run down. Let's go, babe. Hey, a little more ball pressure on Burks' passes, okay? Defense, 1, 2, 3, defense. Forget
Chris
that,
Finch
right?
with a very, very good timeout that time. Basically, he's saying to Will Johnson, stop bailing out and hoping the referees are going to make a call. Go up and dunk the ball over Robert Youngblood. He wants Will Johnson to be more aggressive around the basket. He also called an offensive series. He's going to let Travis Conlon and Terrell Myers run an offensive play called down. Believe me, they'll be looking for Terrell Myers coming off the baseline.
Well, you were talking about the shooting of the Leopards. Well, Tim Moore has got 20 points, but the highest second scorer is Youngblood with 9. So it really, and the two guards have been putting a few shots up, and it's not working. And Burks looks as though he's got an injury there, Alton, moving off the court. A back injury by the look of it.
Yeah, he certainly does. And when he went down on that last play down the court and fell over under the basket, he wrenched his back, and they're going to try and get him some treatment straight away.
Well, just coming back to the remark I was making, Myers has 24 points, Conlon 14, and certainly the Sheffield offense is better spread. It has the appearance of more depth, and whilst Will Johnson has been relatively quiet in this match, his presence has always been vital. He's always been in the right place at the right time, fronting, blocking out, and that's a vital part of the game.
Well, Robert Youngblood had 9 points in the first half. He has not scored in the second half at all. So that's something that you really need to focus on. You really need to work on that. Get him the ball inside and let him go to work.
Just 9 points separating these two sides. 11:24 to go Sheffield with possession at the moment, looking to penetrate inside. The Leopards' defence has moved up a gear of late. It needed to. They were on the way out at one stage, but they recovered with a couple of successful shots. And now there's a great deal more athleticism.
And see, I think Billy Mims right now in the Leopards, Rashad Johnson has kind of thrown off their rhythm somewhat because he hasn't made too many shots, and they certainly don't seem to have the balance inside and outside offensively to make a game of it. So he's struggling for points, and defensively, they just, you know, Travis Conlon and Terrell Myers have really had their way with Rashad Johnson.
If you'd have been coach of the team, do you think you'd have given Rashad Johnson a little bit of a break off the court just to give him a break so he could have a look at the game and bring him back?
Well, I think so. I think he could certainly use a couple of minutes, you know, to have a look at what's happening, you know, in terms of the game. What a great play by Myers. And that's how physical it is under that basket. The Sharks are going after every single offensive rebound, and the Leopards really aren't boxing out. There it is. There's the replay. Almost a great shot, but Johnson around that basket.
Well, Johnson has it. Rashad Johnson has it now, looking to get inside and penetrate, but he's being pulled down, and this time he gets it. And that was a very important basket for that young man. Very important. He'd had an indifferent spell, and that may well recharge him. All players pointing in all directions there, helping the referees, but Neil Wilkinson not being affected by that.
You should know, Stuart, that all players want to be referees and all referees want to be players.
.22 to go, not yet halfway through this second half. That's Brian Moore, number 22. Brian, 6'2", from London. A few league medals, former England junior and England under-22 player. There's so much talent out on that court. Here he is. Here's the man I was talking about. This is Baker, in fact. Steadroy Baker. Moore. And there's a foul surely against Will Johnson, and he acknowledged immediately.
Well, there's a replay. Tim Moore asking for a clear out. Definite foul by Will Johnson and a definite shooting foul. Good call by Neil Wilkinson.
Well, Sheffield have got 7 team fouls now.
Well, here's something key for the fans who are watching this game. Every foul now means 2 shots for both teams. So Leopards have 18 fouls, Sharks have 17 fouls, and it's 10 minutes to go. So every single foul now comes down to foul shots. And as I said earlier, the team that makes their layups and foul shots will probably win this game, especially down the stretch.
Actually, a statistician reminds us that Sheffield haven't actually scored for 4 minutes now, but they're certainly commanding the rebound battle. They've got 36 against the Leopards 21, so certainly Sheffield in control of the backboard, but they're not able to hit the shots at the moment. They've gone dead just for a little while. Let's see what Johnson can do. Nothing there, but that's going to be a foul, I reckon.
Well, that's definitely a foul, but a good job by Sheffield getting the ball into Will Johnson. He is so deep down in the paint there. Good head fake there. Tim Moore has no choice but to foul him. Nowhere to guard Will Johnson if you give him that much leeway to get 3 feet from the basket.
Will Johnson from Philadelphia. Number 1 in the shooting lists last season at 66%. Not totally useful from the free throw line. I guess that's another demonstration.
Well, he's missed 3 so far in this game, and believe me, I'm sure that's not going to, that's certainly going to remind Billy Mims as you get down the stretch that you want to foul Will Johnson, send him to the foul line, make him make his foul shots.
Oh, almost misunderstanding. Oh, Moore got it. Johnson, yes! That's a big shot from Johnson. It's a big shot. A vital shot because they're now only 3 points down, the Leopards, and the Sharks struggling to get their shooting form back. And once again, the basket is missed by Todd Cawthorn. Moore is in, he gets his two, there's a foul as well. Will he get the bonus shot, I reckon? And that could tie it all up, Alden.
Well, there's no question. There's the play for Moore. There was a foul on Conlon. He draws the foul. Great finish by Tim Moore, great concentration. But it all starts with Robert Youngblood's defense and getting the defensive boards into transition. That is Leopards basketball, getting the ball off the defensive boards and up the floor for Tim Moore, Eric Burks, and now Rashad Johnson to finish the plays.
Tim Moore, 6 feet 8. Three-point play, it's tied up at 55 points each. 8:52 to go. Will Johnson out to Conlon. Conlon defended by Johnson, the other Johnson, Rashad Johnson. Moore defending on the far side, a very tight play, and that's Conlon. Johnson. It's a held ball, it'll be jumped at that nearest circle. Oh. And that ball will be jumped by the two players holding on to the ball. Well, there must be at least two.
We apologize if it looks like rugby league. It's not. It's actually basketball. Will Johnson then loses the handle. Eric Burks falls on Will Johnson, and Cawthorn joins the fray. So it'll be Todd Cawthorn and Eric Burks jumping it up. And the tempo and the momentum have now swung to the Leopards. They've scored certainly the last 8 points in this ball game, an 8-0 run. And I think Chris Finch is struggling at the offensive end. Terrell Myers is back in the game. They've got to rely on Myers to get him some points.
Well, what about this game? Billy Mims, he's been walking up and down the side of the court as if to pull the strings of Rashad Johnson, putting him in the right place at the right point so that he can play a part in the patterns, because he must know that the patterns, well, you have to go to pre-season training, you have to play with the team, and to come into a final without any real practice is very difficult, but he's done all right. He's clearly a good player.
Yeah, he certainly is a good player. And I think, it takes people a while to find their level when you're playing on a team as talented as the Leopards. He's got to find his rhythm, find it when he's shooting the ball, make sure he takes good shots.
Leopards are ahead again. My goodness, just think back those few minutes when it looked as though Sheffield were running away with it. They hit those three-pointers and stole away, and now they're 2 points down. And really, their scoring has stopped. It really has.
Well, it certainly seems like Sheffield are a little bit confused about what the Leopards are doing at the defensive end.
Still the drought remains.
But I guess when in doubt, throw the ball to Terrell and hope he gets you 2 points. He at least gets him to the foul shot, to the foul line. That is 4 fouls there on Brian Moore. But that's not a bad thing. Certainly Leopards have enough depth to replace Brian Moore should he foul out.
Basket for 6 minutes for the Sharks. The Westfield-Sheffield Sharks have gone through a bad period. They really have. It's all tied again. It's 57 all. Less than 8 minutes to go. Burks has it. Over his injury. They've worked on him well. He's back now playing the point guard role, defended by Myers. Youngblood. Oh, he's turned brilliantly, Youngblood, but what a rebound by Will Johnson. He timed that perfectly. And that's a charging foul. It's gone against the offensive player. That was well played by Johnson. He got into position. and enough time, and he's got the foul, and he's got an opportunity of possession for the Leopards. Watch this.
Well, there's a crossover, and there's the push-off by Travis Conlon. Very good call by Neil Wilkinson and Will Jones. Good defensive set there by Rashad Johnson.
Both teams on 17 fouls. Conlon can't get round the screen, set by Moore. Moore, he's in again! Oh! Myers. Johnson can't hit it either.
But I was going to say, Stuart, every time that he gets fouled, he has got to make his foul shots. He's doing the work. He's got to finish the plays now. Great offensive rebound. He got away with a push. There's a foul on Tim Moore, but Will Johnson's missed his last 3 foul shots.
Well, Tim Moore's got 3 personal fouls against him now, so the next one puts him into the danger area, and defensively, well, he's a big factor defensively, but Johnson, Will Johnson, that is, here, grimacing because he knows he should have put that in, and then he would have made it a 3-point play. He's now got to work at it, and he's not a great free shooter, so in a sense the foul worked out very well. He's got that one just.
And you look at the sense of relief on his face. You know, he said, thank God for that one.
Well, Will Johnson 4 from 9 from the free throw line, and that is poor, and he will know it. Youngblood working his way inside, and Youngblood gets it. Youngblood gets it. 59-58, and Myers responds. Oh, brilliant stuff by Myers, right over the top.
And if you were thinking about going to have a coffee break or a tea break from this basketball game, do not do it, because this is end to end. You can't miss a play. Every play now is important. The Leopards are making big plays at the defensive end and at the offensive end, and the Sharks are really playing good basketball.
Johnson, oh, big three-point response from Johnson. Now, that's what he came here, that's the reputation he had, and he's just beginning to shine, just a little. Conlon, Johnson, defended by Moore, and Moore's got to be careful, he's on 3 fouls, and what a good piece of play by Brian Moore.
And ironically, Leopards' changes in fortune came when Brian Moore and Steadroy Baker came out and defensively picked up the intensity. They have changed the flow of the game, Brian Moore and Steadroy Baker, and allowed Rashad Johnson and other players really to play the game the way they should play it at the offensive end.
Myers has it. Billy Mims paces relentlessly. He's not done too much sitting. No. Important. Well done by McKinney. McKinney under real pressure from Johnson. Nothing called, and all the supporters for Sheffield are crying for foul. Nothing given. Conlon slows it down. Travis Conlon from Michigan, USA. More Johnson. Oh, he's missed it. The foul is there, but he's missed it, and that means he's got to go to the line again.
But what a great offensive set by Sheffield. They executed that very well. Brian Moore's fouled out, but what a great effort by Brian Moore. Great execution by Sheffield. But you've got to take your hat off to Brian Moore. Defensively, he has shackled Terrell Myers. He has done a brilliant job in changing the way the Leopards played at the defensive end. Great job by Brian Moore.
Steadroy Baker replaces him on court. Number 13. Now, Will Johnson, what can you do here? That was better. That was much better.
Well, it's no use having the first one without having the second one. He's got to convert, because believe me, he's going to get a few fouls going down the stretch.
Well, that makes him 5 from 10 now, so 50% from the free throw line is not a statistic to be admired, and he and Chris Finch will both know that. Baker. Burks has it. Oh, almost. Youngblood almost took it, got it eventually. Baker survived. Johnson, oh, lovely from Burks. Burks inside. There's almost a held ball, but that was stolen, and Myers is free. And Baker takes him out. Oh, it's a travelling violation. I think he's given a travelling. I think he has.
Well, there was no question that there was going to be a foul, but Terrell Myers dropped the ball and then slipped under the basket. Here's the play. Myers catches the ball. He slips before Steadroy Baker got a chance to foul him. Very good call by Neil Wilkinson right on top of the play. There it is. He slips before Baker fouls him. Traveling call, right call by Neil Wilkinson.
So, there he is. Neil Wilkinson remaining cool and calm in that situation. Baker has it, so has Johnson now. Burks on the near side. Johnson and Conlon, what a matchup there. McKinney defending Baker on the far side. Johnson and Youngblood. That's a useful matchup. A double team now, and there's got to be a shot soon, and there it is. And all of a sudden, the Sheffield defense looks a little suspect. Big holes appearing everywhere.
Well, they certainly moved the ball that time. Youngblood made the right decision and found the right guy in Eric Burks.
Big hit, and that's once again, that's in this time, and that's Todd Cawthorn playing the captain's role, all 6'8" of him. Oh, a little sigh of relief. High percentage shot, but my goodness, they needed that.
And that time, Robert Youngblood complaining that he got pushed, but they're not going to make that call standing right under the basket. They expect the men to be men, especially at crunch time right now.
3 minutes and 9 seconds and counting down left in this final. Johnson. No rebound power. Speculative. There was no rebound power there of any note.
And a poor shot by Rashad Johnson.
Yeah.
Mims knows it as well.
More ball to Myers. Johnson defended by Tim Moore. Conlon looking to get in close and does so.
Well, for those of you that think point guards can't play inside, nice finger roll right over Robert Youngblood. Great play by Travis Conlon.
Sharks by 1, 2:30 to go. Johnson defended by Conlon. Lovely screen by Youngblood. Couldn't get the shot away early enough. Oh, it's long, and Johnson gets the rebound again. Oh, and Youngblood and Johnson battle it out. It's going to be a held ball. It'll be jumped. Will Johnson pounced in there quickly. Will Jones, rather, pounced in there quickly and said, end it now, let's jump it.
Well, there's a little bit of passion going for this one. Only 2:18 left, but Youngblood and Will Johnson battling for that basketball. Terrell Myers diving on top of it. They get a jump ball. Good result, but great effort by Robert Youngblood. And there's a timeout now by Billy Mims. He's got to come up with an offensive series.
Well, just 2 minutes and 18 seconds left on that big scoreboard high in this Sheffield Arena. Now, what's he got to say?
All right? When Robert wins the tap, we're going to go 11. All right? We're going to go 11. And listen, we still want to keep going to the basket unless we really got a good look. That's good looks done wrong, all right? We're going to run 11. Rashad, once we get the ball, and Steadroy gets it outside. No, Eric, you take it. Steady, you go to the block here. Rashad to the other block. Tim here. Youngblood down here on this block. Eric's going to bring it over there. He's going to turn, go off Tim's pick. Steady, Rashad, run to my bench. Get over here, okay? Blood, you're going to back pick Tim. Eric, I don't want to throw it unless you really get open, all right? Eric, if you ain't open, Tim, listen. If you ain't open for Rob, kick it to Blood. Blood's going to feed you. All right, here we go.
Well, Billy Mims there with another diagram of an inbounds play, and I think he'll find that Sheffield's a pretty smart team. They're not going to allow
an inbounds play, or they're not going to allow a specialist play. But this presumes a young blood wins the tap. Terrell Myers can get off the floor.
Possession is 9/10 of the law in this game. Sheffield have it, and there's an offense, and there's a end ball situation. I'm not quite sure what happened there.
Well, Terrell Myers touched the ball, and he cannot tip the ball to himself, so it's a violation, and the Leopards get the ball on sideline.
Well, that was a big call as well, really. Baker defended by McKinney on the top. Burks takes it over. Runs wide, moves wide to set it up, to see what's there. The rotations begin. Little screens being set to free players. Youngblood is free. Defended by Will Johnson. Moore. Defended by the captain, Todd Cornwall. Moore gets past him. Oh, and he's fouled on the way in. And Moore will get free shots on that. And that was well drawn.
Well drawn and very patient by Tim Moore. Very smart. He waited to see what happened. Cawthorn made the mistake of reaching. Almost recovered, but then Terrell Myers drew the foul. That foul wasn't on Terrell Myers. It was actually on Todd Cawthorn. That is his 4th foul.
Chance, a vital shot. Myers. Conlon, defended by Baker. Baker putting early pressure on now. Force the early pass, doesn't come. Myers again, Conlon, McKinney the big outside shooter. Burks keeping him well outside. Myers, oh, that's a big shot, and the rebound by Moore. Moore's having a great game. Baker, too many on him though, 4 against 1, and he did the right thing. If in doubt, pass it out. He did that, and all of a sudden the Leopards have control of this situation again. 65 points all, 1:14 to go in this final.
Now both of these teams are going to get the ball back at least twice using the 30-second clock. Question is, who's going to be the smartest at the offensive end?
The shot clock ticking down, that's why the shot was rushed. And now Myers showing a bit of class, slows it down, looks at the scoreboard, looks at his coach, looks at his player. And there's a referee's timeout here. And there's a query from the Leopards bench. Not sure what it is. I'm not sure whether the clock... I know what it was. The 30-second clock was 2 seconds out, is what I think they're saying, which means that that rushed shot need not have been taken. That's the 30-second clock. It appears in each of the alternate corners, and of course that is a most significant decision. The player looked at the clock, it was counting down, and yet he had 2 more seconds. And remember, Olympic finals are won in 3 seconds. Remember Munich 1972?
Exactly.
Then 55 seconds left. This is an important shot, and the defense is very tight. It's 65 points all. Conlon has it tightly defended, looking for the fade. Baker gets it. Now, what have they given? I think they've given Sheffield possession out of bounds.
And I think the Leopards are complaining that there was a foul. Here it is. It's a 50-50 ball. There is contact. There should have been a foul called. There wasn't one called, and the Sheffield Sharks get the ball back. Big play.
Well, we're going to get more than one shot in this final stage, because this is a very important one for the Sheffield side. They've got to hit this, and then they've got to defend hard. It's a high percentage. It's 2 points, and it's Myers gets in. It's 67, and Myers has 30 points, and 9 out of 10 from the free throw line. He's got to be the most valuable player. Remarkable performance, and it's timeout with 26.1 seconds left to be exact on the main scoreboard above us. That's the one that matters, and that means that these teams are still, either one has a chance to win.
Press offense first. Robert, you take the ball out of bounds. Press offense, all right? Eric, get open and shot it to the middle. Don't force anything we don't have. 26 seconds, and I want a good one. Now, when we get down the floor, we can't rush it, but we can't take ages either. Robert, you're trailing down the floor to that spot, all right? Tim, you're already down the floor. Which side of you want the ball? This side. Tim, get down that side of the floor, this side of this block. All right, Eric, when you ultimately get the ball, I want you to bring it to this side of the floor. I want a shot and clear. I want scatter. Bring it to the top. Tim, you keep playing. You're coming behind Tim. Man, you're not ready. Let's keep playing.
Well, we've got 26 seconds left. Billy Menz has drawn his play for the final shot. They're going to try and get the ball to Tim Moore for the finish. Todd Cawthorn has 4 fouls. Will Johnson has 3 fouls. It doesn't matter, though. The key is to stop the Leopards getting the ball to Tim Moore or Robert Youngblood. Good pressure by Sheffield, trying to make the Leopards use as much time getting up the floor as possible.
Burks has it, defended by Myers. 14 seconds left. One shot, this big shot, it's got to be a good shot. And Youngblood, there's not a lot of time left. He's got to get the shot in. Baker has it. Johnson looking to take the big shot. Oh, he's missed it. He's missed it. And the rebound has gone to Sheffield. And that is it. Sheffield are the National Cup champions for 1998. And it was a brilliant, brilliant, well-fought game. And the man of the match for me is Terrell Myers, the number 11. Top scorer, and what a game he had. An absolutely superb game. Johnson was quiet. Travis was superb in his contribution in pushing that ball into the court. But there he is, that's Myers. He's the man they should thank. Johnson came into the Leopards, gave them a new lease of life, he really did. It was very, very close. And at the end it was 67 to 65. Youngblood was brilliant. Burks played better today. And Rashid Johnson, Tim Moore was superb under the backboard. It could have gone either way. At one stage Sheffield looked as though they were running away with it. Then the Leopards came back. And the crowd are celebrating one of the great finals here in any of the major arenas in the United Kingdom. The Westfield Sheffield Sharks are the champions. It went with the form book, but my goodness me, it was very, very close indeed. Alton, your final comments on this?
What a great basketball game. Both teams, intensity at the defensive end. Both teams played hard. Really, really good game. And fundamentally, what a good game to watch. Sheffield, a throwback to the old days of the 80s. Teams that played well together, passed the ball well together. What a solid, solid basketball game by both Sheffield and by the Leopards. And incredible that Sheffield pulled that one out. Great execution down the stretch, but a very, very good game. And it was thrilling to watch.
Just milk this atmosphere. This has been a remarkable final, and it did go, as they say, to the wire. The presentation soon to be made, and my goodness me, the Leopards came so close. That is Rashad Johnson. A great feeling. He's come to this championship. He's played for the very first time for the Leopards, and they've lost it by just 2 points. A good player, clearly, receiving his acclaim, but on this day, that understanding was just that little bit missing. Alton.
Yeah, there's no question that I think Rashad Johnson would be a terrific player in this league, in this country. In a one-off game, it's very difficult to bring a new player in and hope that he contributes the way you'd like him to contribute. There's a thing called team chemistry. You don't build that in a week. And the Leopards had played well in the semifinals to get to the finals, coming back from 18 down to beat Newcastle. But I think it was a tall task to ask Rashad Johnson to contribute any more than he did. He made some great contributions. He could have made more, but at the end of the day, I think Sheffield's teamwork won this game.
Myers 30 points, Conlon 16 points, but it's not just about shooting. Tim Moore 25 points for the Leopards, Youngblood 13 points and 7 rebounds. He had a very good game today, did Youngblood, he really did. There's Johnson receiving his award. He will have learned something here. And Tim Moore moving away as one would expect a loser to move away, because 2 points is the difference between being number 1 and number 2.
And you know what they say, Stuart? They don't remember who number 2 is. You always remember who the champions are.
Well, Sheffield almost came unstuck. Remember, Will Johnson's rebound situation contributed to Sheffield's 17 out of 28 from the free throw line, which is not the statistic they will celebrate. They'll celebrate the result. The Leopards, incidentally, 10 from 15 from the line. The biggest lead, Sheffield's 11 points. And the fouls, well, Sheffield committed 16, the Leopards 22. Very, very even first half. The two officials handled it well. They allowed the physical contact to Neil Wilkinson and Will Jones. A lot of credit to them. Not a lot of complaint in that department.
Not at all. I think they had a good game. A lot of people would love to blame a referee for the game, but referees don't miss 11 foul shots. Referees don't miss layups. Referees don't miss the defensive assignments. But you got to take your hat off to this Sheffield team, because boy did they hang in there and play well together. Very, very smart basketball team.
Well, Todd Cawthorn, the captain of the Westfield Sheffield Sharks, from Roanoke, Virginia, USA. Big smile. Keith Mitchell, the presenter of the trophy, representing the Basketball Association. These teams have come through a Budweiser League this season and last season, a league which is so competitive that it results in finals like this. This has been one of those occasions.
Well, I'll tell you, Stuart, it's been as good a final as I've seen in a long time. It's been balanced, it's been physical, we've had great shots, we've had great passes, we've had great intensity, we've had momentum swings, we've had tempo swings, and we've seen some terrific talent in a final of this magnitude.
Well, the medals, as Richard Windwall moving across, each one that... here we go, there'll be a big cheer for Will Johnson. He contributed 30 points in the semi-final, and that was a big contributing factor to their success here. Look at that. Lovely moments, aren't they? And the cup has now been thrown away.
One more presentation to be made, y'all. It is the MVP, the most valuable player in this 1999 final, with 7 rebounds, 29 points, Terrell Myers.
Well, Terrell Myers as the most valuable player. We were asked for our opinion, and he's the fellow we gave the award to. He really is quite a remarkable player on this day. He was in every department absolutely superb. Alton.
Well, certainly he has some spectacular offensive skills. He is very good at distributing the ball. You know, he's one of those guys that if he leaves this country, one of those talents you'll be sad to see go, because I think he's one of those guys that can become a hero to every player in Britain. He knows how to play the game. He knows how to distribute the ball, and he's very, very smart with it. Takes his time. He's very patient, and he's a pleasure to watch play the game. He's a throwback. He's a guy who knows how to play this basketball game.
Well, the traditional team photograph. These are remarkable scenes. They really are. We seldom get a chance to see them, but this has been a final that we shall celebrate for some time.
Well, you'd never really kind of lose the goose pimples after a presentation. I've been fortunate to play on some great teams, the Kingston teams, the Murray teams. I've been fortunate to play and coach on championship teams, and you always get goose pimples right at the end. It is this is what you play the game for. You play to compete, but inevitably you want to play the game to win championships and be a winner on good teams. And this is what it's about. This is the fun bit.
Well, you know, the team that was 8th in the league, the Leopards, almost upset the plan, really, the script. They almost had it rewritten, and it really came down to just that last shot and that last marvellous piece of defensive play by the Westfield Sheffield Sharks. Well, we've got a chance to see the players. We've had a coach who's successful as well, Chris Finch. He's now talking to Bob Ballard.
Yes, what a double act, Chris Finch and Terrell Myers. Chris, first of all, first year as coach, Uniball Trophy winner. Second year as Classic Cola Cup winner. It's not a bad job being a coach, is it?
Nah, it's a lot easier when you got a guy like Terrell who ends up making the winning basket in all the finals that you end up going to. So we just got to get him to more finals and be all right.
You must have had some anxious moments near the end, though.
Yeah, you know, I think we played a little bit tight all game, and to the Leopards' credit, they came out and they battled, and we just didn't seem ourselves. We missed some easy shots. It was a hard-fought game, but, you know, cup finals are going to be that way, and we just found a way to win.
Some more words about the man standing to your right-hand side, Terrell. He's a big game player, isn't he?
He certainly is. He's a heck of a player. You know, he's been a key for us all season, and, you know, they threw everything they could at him. He still ended up with 29 points, game-winning basket. You know, Todd found him on a great cut, and tribute to him and the guys the way they worked today. Played some great defense as well.
Terrell, what kind of a game was that to play in for you?
It was exciting. You know, I came here last year as a fan, and that was one of my goals this year, is to get here, not only to get here, but to win. And that's what happened.
You've been working on those three-pointers?
Yeah, you know, we get in the gym and we just keep shooting, and then, you know, one time you're going to need to shoot them and make them, and today really wasn't the day, but I kept shooting them anyway.
Now tell me about this new look, Terrell Myers. We knew you were good last year, but this year you're having a phenomenal season.
I have to give a lot of credit to my team. You know, they find me the ball, they give me the ball, and my coach Chris, he just lets me go. And then last year, you know, I played a role of coming off the bench, and this year they just let me go, roam free, and this is what happens.
Okay, one thing in the bag now, Chris. You got one trophy in the bag. What about the league?
Oh, you know, the league's been our primary goal since we set out, and as big as this game is, as big as this weekend was for us, next weekend is 10 times bigger. And we got to go to Manchester for our first league encounter. We got to come home the following night and play against London. Both quality sides, you know, both going to be in the league race. And, you know, we got to get this victory, savor it for the moment, get it behind us, come back to work on Tuesday, business as usual.
Go out and enjoy yourselves. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Bob.
Chris, Terrell, we need you to the press one now.
Okay.
All right.